Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, Luke Ride. So what you're going to learn today is just purely fitting the full Akrapovic Titanium system for the BMW R NineT Racer. Classic superbike, classic race bike. So this is just purely...
It's showtime.
On the R NineT Racer, on this classic superbike, don't just instantly now fit the titanium headers, because actually, on having a good look, closer inspection, is you can see there's a difference between the exhaust port and there's like a silver ring going around there. That's not a part of the actual engine block. That is a exhaust gasket that was crushed in during factory when it was first fitted. But the thing is this gasket, they're designed to be crushed in, and now this gasket, we can't be absolutely certain that it's going to actually perform its job and create a seal. So we're just being very careful with the pick and trying to get into the edges of the gasket just to help start breaking it free, and also being careful not to scratch the outer engine casing at the same time, or divvying into the port, so you can actually feel it starting to break away. You just got to pick an edge, start working it, then take your pick, and eventually it's going to come out. But take note of the orientation it's coming out, and it has to come out as one piece. Okay. And there are divots in there. Welcome to the Akrapovic system. Ain't it a sight? Don't you want to stare at it? What we're going to do before we make any more progress is, what you can actually do is take a can called WD-40, and we're just going to wipe down the titanium, wipe it all down so it's looking as pretty as possible, and then we're going to get started. How exciting is that? Feel how light this titanium system is. Oh yeah. So what we can do is use a liquid called WD-40. Really amazing, very powerful liquid. Outstanding. And what it can do is safely clean the titanium for you without risking putting anything on there that you shouldn't. And as well, it's going to make the titanium look nice and shiny. And Luke Rides, honestly, he can't emphasize this enough. You must wear gloves when handling titanium. Okay, you must wear gloves. You cannot get your skin, your oils on the titanium, or once the BMW 1200cc beast of an engine fires up and heats up this titanium, you will then get a burn mark in your titanium from the oil left by your hands. And once that happens, you can't clean it off. It's burnt into the titanium. So you don't want that to happen. Even if you want to, every so often, change your gloves, even that's a good idea. The way to look at it, everybody at Luke Rides, is think about the fact that gloves are a heck of a lot cheaper than titanium. So don't be afraid to change your gloves every so often. So that's the titanium cleaned up using beautiful WD-40. And now we need to start putting this puppy together. We actually need to start putting this unit together now. So we're going to do that. And this is the collector pipe here, which sits Oh my god, bloody hell, it even rotates inside. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. It rotates inside. Ah, right, it rotates inside, but Luke Rider's assuming what you've got to do actually. Oh yeah. Wow, isn't that interesting? You got to do it in such a way that the collector lines up with the springs that are going to be going inside. Whoa. That hold this entire system together. So make sure what you've got to do is just take your time and line where the springs are going to be. Well, fucking hell, was that easy or what? Oh, that's interesting. Alright. Okay, that can't be right. Why does one side look longer than the other? Fuck me, one side is longer than... Oh, there is actually a difference. Check that out. There actually is a difference. There really is. So, actually, one pipe here is longer into the upper collector, and the right hand cylinder has a shorter pipe going into the collector. Wow. That's really interesting. Lucas did not know that. Wow. Isn't that fascinating? There is like a reason why. Try not to smash the titanium into each other. Wow, this isn't easy. What the fuck? Alright, this really isn't easy. What the hell's going on here? Yeah! Stop being a fighter! Stop fighting it! Oh, God damn it! Oh! Oh no! No! Oh, don't come apart! Hey! Get back in! Hey! What the motherfucker? Oh my god! That goddamn jigsaw! Okay, so that's what we want. Somehow this is all going to line up. Which you'd assume would just kind of happen naturally as it all comes together. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. Ah, okay. So you need to bring the... Right. Okay. Luke Rice's starting to understand the titanium now. Which is you've got to bring the longer pipe into the shorter pipe, and the shorter pipe into the longer pipe, and it all just comes together. Eventually. Luke Rice said that eventually. Eventually it all just comes together. You don't want to bend or damage the titanium either. That does not feel like it's as in as it could be. Does it? No. That does not look right, does it? What's Luke Ride's missing here? Luke Ride's is missing something in this hole. Feels like it's supposed to go in a little bit further than this. Oh, spring. Yeah, spring holes match up, so that's good. We now have the full titanium system together. In the beginning, we did it with Luke Rides and an amazing family. We noticed that there was a problem where the upper headers were at an angle. So we've just been spending time actually taking the upper headers out. Whoa. Figuring out what the problem is. and then lining the upper headers back up, pushing it all together, tapping in the right areas. Akrapovic say that if you need to, you can use a rubber mallet if necessary, and what you want to do, what can help, is a technique where if you take the, say this piece of the upper header and slide it in and out of this joint while rotating it at the same time, and you're engraving like a marker into the titanium of how far you need to go to be absolutely sure you really have put the joins in as far as they can go, and then finished with springs. So now you need to make sure there's no springs on the flanges. As you can see here, we need to make sure there's no springs, and then have your flange nuts ready. Gaskets, we have genuine BMW Meeyaradee gaskets from the factory for our outstanding R NineT Racer. So let's remove the upper springs, and we've also really cleaned the system using a rag and as well rag and WD-40 as well. Alright, let's give this a whirl. Yeah, this is bloody awkward. Oh wow, the spring's tight. Oh, fuck. Oh fuck. Oh my god. I'm pretty confident here at Luke Rides. Remember, wear gloves at all times. That we have put the Akrapovic Titanium system together. That we have put the pieces together as tight as possible, as best that we can, wiggling the pipe, the titanium system together, giving it a good wiggle. Giving it a good wiggle, trying to get the best fit possible. And so far so good. Now the next piece of the puzzle is that, as you can see, the titanium system is built into pieces. So what we actually need to do is now start attaching these amazing little springs that sit between, which actually probably could do if actually it really could clean, to be honest. Actually it really could do with a bit of a clean. So we're just going to clean up these springs, well, not just springs, Akrapovic springs, Akrapovic springs. They're not just springs, they're Akrapovic springs. So what we can do is just put them into our little pan, little cleaning pan. And what we can do is just give these little puppies a bit of a dousing. Using WD-40 on this occasion. I'm just going to get a bit of kitchen paper. I'm just going to wipe the springs down. What we're just doing is just trying to make them as lovely and shiny as possible. So it's nice to see. I mean, oh, look at that. I mean, look at the difference already. Actually looks like the springs are just that little bit shinier, a little bit cleaner. Even the metal looks cleaner. Everything just looks a bit more tidy. You can already see in the kitchen paper as well. I mean, just black is just coming off. So it helps to give them a little bit of a clean, to make them as presentable as possible. Look at that titanium. So really, it doesn't really matter where you start. If you're happy that the collector and the exhaust pieces are pretty close together, what you can actually do in a way is you can start on fitting the springs onto the collectors first. Fitting the springs onto the collectors first. So in your system, what you should see is you should have 6 springs in total, and the titanium has these hooks that are welded into place, and each of these hooks is where a spring should be. And of course, what you want to use is, since this is a titanium system, is you want to use Akrapovic springs. This, wow, oh wow, you guys has never worked with this before. So the springs are really powerful, and what they're going to do is, as you put the pieces together, this spring is the final anchor that's just going to make sure the pipes are as joined together as possible in their different pieces. As you saw in the BMW factory system, the exhaust system is all one piece. On the titanium system made by Akrapovic, actually the exhaust system is broken into multiple pipes with joins as well. So what you're going to need, because the springs are very powerful and very tight, it's always nice to try and as well get the Akrapovic sign looking or facing towards you. And then what you need is something like a hook like this, where you can put all your muscle power into. Take the hook and you put it onto so you put the spring onto the first hook, and then you use your hook tool, or a spring back tool, sure, guys, there's a name for this, like a proper technical name. But then you can use all your force, all your power, to pull. Oh my fucking god. Wow. that was really hard. And you try not to scratch the titanium at the same time. Oh man. I gotta hold the system. Oh, Rook. Oh wow, that was hard. Holy shit. You really gotta pull on these springs. Fuck. That was really hard. What we want to try and do is just, if you can, make your life a little easier. If you position the hook tool over where you want the next end of the spring to go. Oh god, this is awkward. It's awkward because right where you're trying to pull it, you have titanium in your way. Other hand. Try the other hand. Oh, holy crap. God almighty. How do I use it? Success. Oh wow, you can feel the tension on that. Holy mother. That's pulling the spring, that's pulling the exhaust pieces together. Okay, that's just one. You ready for the next one, everyone? Get ready. Oh, that took a lot of muscle power. And taking your hook tool. Use your hand. Use your arm that you favour the most. Wait. And again, be careful of your titanium as you're working on the floor with all those different pieces. Because this is, this is pretty hard work. Oh God. Holy crap. The first one was hard enough. Again, focus on the arm where you have the most power. Try not to damage the titanium. Oh wow, that's 2 springs. That's 2 springs. That's going to be interesting, as this is actually part of the system that you don't see. Okay. Now at this point you can focus on the collector. The collector is this link pipe between the first bank and the second bank. So again, spring. Get into position. And then pull. So these pieces, for whatever reason, you see the markings as well. Okay, and that leaves you with just one more spring. One more spring to a complete system. Amazing, isn't it, how it's all... And the R9T series, it's all rustic. And it's all in pieces. Okay, make sure you're happy the collector and the hooks are as aligned as you're happy that they are. And then using the tool now. Okay. Okay, that is all of your springs in position and looking good. Okay, hello everyone at Luke Rides. What a mission, taking off the exhaust flange, taking the actual header, taking the entire system off the mighty BMW race bike. So, this is the next stage. We need to remove this clamp here, because actually a different piece is going to go in its place. Because it is a titanium straight pipe, it means that this clamp is too wide in order to fit. So we actually need to remove this clamp. We'll be staring at this clamp. We need to remove it. We have to remove it from the BMW race bike, classic race bike. But you're probably wondering, hang on a minute, I can't see a bolt head. What do I do? How do I get this clamp out of the way? Luke Rides kids, you, not everybody. Watch this. Oh. it just wiggles off. Be careful with the frame again. What you're doing as well by cleaning that area up is you're actually giving the tool or the socket that's going to go in there a bit of an easier time, plus it clears out all the gunk in that area that could get in the way of the tool. So in this area here where the catalytic converter once was, this is the exhaust hanger clamp that it sits on, and it's fixed in place by two T30 Torx. Now the Torx to the right hand side, you can get a ratchet in there, not too hard, small ratchet, and you'll be able to get to that Torx bolt on the right hand side, which is easy. But it's the top left one that's a bugger, because the top left one is in a very small gap, a very small space, and it has this very interesting BMW connector in there. So you'll be wondering, oh, I can get this ratchet there, and this is where you need quite a thin tool like this from Blue Point that will just about get you in there, where you can then just push that electrical wire just out the way, and you can get your T30 socket on that one to the top left. And then if you're in Britain or Europe, you would then push that way to undo. But that just took a little bit of figuring out, because trying to get a ratchet on that Torx bolt to the top left was not happening, and it was like, well, how else are you supposed to undo that? That's why you have a tool kit with all these special tools in there that just help you through these difficult dilemmas. And that one is now loosened off, and that one is loosened off, and now we need to undo this bracket, as an Akrapovic Titanium bracket is going in its place. Woohoo! And now what we'll do is give this puppy the good clean that it deserves. So, it's a bit of a, I just slid in nice and easy. So that is Akrapovic instructions are that we're to take the factory BMW exhaust header clamp bracket, and that is to sit into this rubber booty by Akrapovic, and this will fix the titanium in place where the catalytic converter used to be, and that's feeling pretty rock solid. Makes life a little easier. Now on to the next stage. Can do as well is you're just going to clean off the studs and the flange nuts go, and you're just going over the threads, removing any little bits of dirt or anything that could get onto those threads. Luke Rod's found that they actually were not greasy from the factory, so no grease required. This is finally happening. But just to show you, this is the original factory BMW gasket that came out, and that is our brand new BMW factory exhaust gasket, identical in the other cylinder. Once you're happy you fitted your new BMW exhaust gasket, try to stick with genuine. You're ready to go.
Back on.
Smart
move.
I like it.
That's it. Wow. And then repeat on the side.
And the other side. Thank you. Alright, well you can. It's like the work, isn't it? Try and make your life as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know which hole I need to aim for. And then just pull it back. Have a spring flange. Far out, man. Yay. There you go, flange. Now the springs are ready to go. And less factory. Don't cross thread them. Go on, you find your thread. There you go. You're happy now, aren't you? Oh, that's one. Now I can focus on the exhaust hanger. And then move on to the sleeves. Right. Oh, wow. So everyone at Luke Rice, here is a top tip from the amazing Debbie, because she has been able to see this a little bit outside the box, which is to make life easier for yourself, because each sleeve has its own Akrapovic exhaust spring. You're going to need to pull the spring to the hook on the header pipe. Now it's easier if you put the hook inside on the flange hole, because that way you can then take your hook tool, pull the spring back, put the spring closest to you, and then just pop it onto the hook, and you're sorted, aren't you? We're using the flange nuts just to keep the Akrapovic Titanium in place, because the next port of call is going to be the exhaust hanger, which we now need to line up, start getting the torque bolts in there. Don't have to tighten them down, just need to get a good bite in there, get the bolts in, and then you can work on this area of the titanium system. So it's coming together bit by bit, hour by hour. Now happy that the O2 sensors are torqued down as much as possible, and there's no twist in the wiring itself. We have 2 springs either side of where the sleeves actually go into the cylinders here. Now in the titanium Akrapovic Exotica, there is a hook where Luke Wright's finger is, on the same location as well on the second cylinder sleeve. The hook will be identical the other side in the same place. And so what we need to do now is we need to take, very carefully, begin to install the O2 sensor. What we don't want to do as well is we don't want to damage the frets. We're going to install the O2 sensor. Remember that little twist that we did? Now, you're happy that you've done that. So that was counting, it's more like 5 turns. Okay, so Luke Wright actually, that felt more like 5 turns. So I'm going to twist the O2 sensor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now I'm going to put it into the thread with the titanium Akrapovic headers. And see how the wire is now not looking so twisted. See, it's not looking so twisted now, which is what you want. That is so important. You don't want to put a twist in the O2 sensors. So once you're happy you've tightened the O2 sensor hand tight, you're then going to take a 22mm spanner and you're going to lock it off. You're going to tighten the thread. Where we twisted it, we twisted the O2 sensor opposite way round. Then locked it off. Okay. Give that cable a good feel. Doesn't feel twisted. And again, lock off the O2 sensor. That feels pretty tight. And that's it. Your O2 sensors are not only installed, but they're installed the proper way without leaving the wires in a twist that will eventually cause the O2 sensor, potentially the wire inside, to fray and then split and then be damaged. So well done. And really you just need to take the spanner, nip it up pretty tight, so you nip it up as far as the spanner will go, and you've torqued it down, and the wire feels pretty good. There's not much twist in it now. That's pretty outstanding. The flange nuts, we need to now torque them down and secure them. As well, what is brilliant is, because this is a huge upgrade and a big job on the R9T Racer, we have actually gotten the R9T Racer, classic race bike, classic superbike, its own fresh, genuine BMW flange nuts. So at least when you fitted something this beautiful and high performance, that seeing rusty nuts is something you don't see, that you just get a nice finish to torque them down on both cylinders. Get a decent quality torque ratchet, and what you're looking for is the click. That click, that means you've reached 22 Newton meters. That's the top flange nut, but you now need to also torque down the bottom as well, and making sure that your tools, as you're applying force, is not hitting the engine casing or any paintwork as well. Try not to do that to yourself. Yeah. Oh no, that's an old one.
Is it?
That's an old one as well, because it's corroded.
Okay. What I'd recommend is tightening them evenly. Don't nip them down to their final torque until they're both nipped up, because you don't want to crush the washer unevenly.
Ah, that's right. That's a good point. Thank you, Debbie. That's a good point. What you can do is, because you have a exhaust gasket that is designed to crush down, as you apply torque, as you torque down the sleeves, that you apply the torque evenly. By what Luke Wright actually means by that is, take the first nut, tighten it down, give it a few rotations with the ratchet, and then take the socket off the top flange nut, and then go to the bottom flange nut, and then do the same with that one. Just a few rotations, as best you can, in that tight space. Go back to the top. And you're going to as well give that a few rotations. So you're applying the force evenly. You can actually see the sleeve moving towards the cylinder, which is quite interesting when you've seen it all happen in reality. And what you're doing is you're applying even force on the crusher washer, crusher gasket, so when the sleeve hits it, it's being crushed all round evenly, which is good. That's good for the gasket. That's good for making a good seal as well. That is very good. Again, you're going to move down to the bottom one. Trying to be careful with the titanium system as well. You don't want to help it. You don't want to scratch it. Watch that exotic system. Ooh. You don't want to scratch it. You don't want to damage it. you don't want to do jack shit to it. Okay, look, right, it's just starting to feel now. The flange nut's just starting to get tighter. Now getting nice and tight now, real tight. And again, you're trying to apply that torque down evenly, which is good. You can actually hear you can actually hear the crushing taking place now. I'm waiting for the ratchet to click, like so. Okay, great stuff. Click twice. Usually what happens if you click a ratchet, torque ratchet, twice, it either means it's just confirmation that you have hit the torque, gotten to the torque dead on. And once you're happy that the sleeves are flange nuts are torqued down on both sides, then you need to fit these forward springs from the sleeve into the hooks built into the titanium system. You're going to need a hook tool, and you're just going to be patient and pull the spring back as much as you can, and get at an angle where it eventually goes into those hooking pieces. It's not easy. And the same as well on this side. Forward springs fitted, which is outstanding. Okay, so we have a bit of success here at Luke Wright. The titanium system is now at least in place, and now by manipulating the exhaust hanger, we've also been able to line it up to the bolt holes in the engine casing. So when Luke Wright says bolt holes, get the camera in there. There's one at the top left, and on the other side is your secondary. Which is kind of back here, and then you've got your top one there. So what you're going to do is reuse the original BMW Torx bolts, and then we're just going to thread them in by hand, and then take it from there. As we install the aluminium torque bolts, we can now put a little bit of what is called Loctite. This is Loctite 270, and this is just going to help strengthen the threads as we bind them in. You just need a small dab, you don't need very much. And then what we're going to do is, because we are going into the engine block, what we don't want to do is what is called cross threading. It's called cross threading, which is where you are installing the bolt, and then because it hasn't quite gone in straight, is where the bolt will then you can't see. I can't fucking see shit because the pipe is on the face. Please just bugger off. Please do not get me at the paddock stand. Great stuff. Okay, so 2 sensors, flange nuts, and exhaust hanger as well. All torqued down as much as possible. And now, and again, if you really want to, just go back up there in that very tight space. I knew you could get a ratchet so super tiny. It's really helpful though to have a super tiny ratchet. It's like super tiny, man. It's like super tiny. Like Superman tiny. Not Superman tiny. Superman's like, whoa, Superman, Superman. They're like Superman, I love Superman. Be careful not to ram off the heads.
Good God.
So get yourself something like this, just a bucket is acceptable. And what you're going to do is, everybody's different. This is not a process that you can just rush. And you're just going to clean the existing factory system just by taking the Scotch-Brite and then doing your best to scuff up the metal. You're never going to have it exactly like it was brand new at the factory, but you can just try and make it a bit more presentable, especially when you think to yourself this is going on titanium. You know, Akrapovic system worth thousands of pounds, the most high performance, I mean the most beautiful, even exhaust makers in our Britain, in the United Kingdom, quite often say that actually the Akrapovics are over-engineered. They're that good that they are literally over-engineered. How amazing is that, to actually hear an exhaust system as over-engineered? Like a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW or a Kawasaki. Do you know what Liquid means? It is over-engineered to be the absolute best of what it can be, of what it is. So just scuff it, and then wipe your WD, spray a bit more WD-40 if you want to, just to help get rid of all the dirty residue. Because as you're scuffing it, as you're cleaning it, you see you're wiping away all the bad residue. And what that leaves is a kind of a muck, really, just this dirty surface that's going to be there from the cleaning process. It's difficult. I mean, it's 1200cc, what race bikes used to be, and yeah, it doesn't feel right that it should in any way, shape or form have a baffle. Yeah, it's not what you buy a race bike for. It's not what you buy a classic superbike for. You don't buy it to be quiet. You buy it to be the most powerful, to be the fastest, to be the torquiest motorcycle. And you know, you could say, yeah, but you have a superbike. You have the frightening ZX-10 superbike, Luke, right? Well, yeah, but the ZX-10 superbike is ultra modern, and it has, 8 fuel injectors, and it's kind of like, yeah, but it's also not 1200 cc's. That's another way of looking at it. It's not 1200 cc's. That's actually quite a difference. Do you see that, everybody? Everybody here at Luke Rides, that. It's quite a difference from that. Huh. Hello everyone at Luke Rides, look at this. So the left hand side is the factory BMW exhaust hanger that we've attacked using WD-40 and Scotch-Brite. And look at the shine on it already. Come on iPhone, focus you fucker. Look at that. And you can compare on the right hand side, before the cleaning, as it came off the factory exhaust system. Shiny silver, brown grey. Let's have the shiny silver. Ah. Wow. Hasn't that come out pretty well? Well, check this out, everybody at Luke Rides. This is the titanium link pipe. That means we are getting rid of the fucking goddamn factory valvetronic bullshit they're putting in these modern exhaust systems now, and it is just a straight pipe. No valves controlling the noise and the torque and the power, just letting the engine be the free piece it's supposed to be. Use WD-40, so we're just tidying it up now. WD-40. Give it a good old splappy. Good old splatty. And that is looking well nice. It's looking nice and shiny. So this end, that makes sense. So that this end, this piece here, that's the finish, that's actually going to be where the slip-on engages and clips on. So you take this wider oval piece and, well, Would you look at that? Because what's going to happen here is, of course, you have the slip-on. So you have the slip-on here, and then the link pipe here. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to adjust the slip-on, rotate it left or right to get it in the right position. Which means if you then have talking down the link pipes won't move and be flexible and let you get the adjustment just right and get the angles just right. So a professional tip is don't torque the clamps down. Tighten them up a little, but do not torque them down. Not make them absolutely tight until the slip-on. You're happy with the angle of the slip-on, and the slip-on is just fitted beautifully. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the first clamp and you're going to push it onto the into the headers, on the end of the headers, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the sexy titanium and you're going to take the second clamp and you're going to rest it, and you're going to whack it gently into the link pipe. And what you're looking for is on the link pipe and the headers are metal cutouts like these. That's where a clamp is supposed to be, and then this is just some sort of sits between the link pipe and the thingy. Equal length both sides, so it looks like, oh no, actually there is a difference. Ah, shit. Ah, bollocks. Oh no, there isn't. Okay, so now you're going to insert the link pipe. See how it all just goes. And what you can do actually is you can just rotate the clamps. And what we're going to do is rotate them in such a way that the bolts themselves are facing towards the yummy rear wheel. And at this point, you're just going to get your positioning of the clamp just right. You want the position of the clamp to be literally where the clamp meets the metal. Okay, that's already feeling like we've got some sort of action going on here, so that's pretty good. And the second clamp as well, you're just gonna start tightening it up in such a way that you still have a bit of adjustment, but you're just starting to you just have a little bit of adjustment, because what's going to happen at this point is, what would happen is, now you're going to focus on the how the link pipe is, how the rear pipe is going to fit here before you dare torque those clamps down. Okay, we're now going to take the honking very big Akrapovic muffler, like so. Goddamn baffle, goddamn you. Why do they make us? This is not fair. Okay, so you're now going to take the muffler, going to slide it onto the actually going to slide it onto the link pipe now, which is interesting. It's not supposed to be like that, because that just seems a bit odd. Doesn't it seem a bit odd? Ah, fucker. Try not to get a good shove. And make sure that the muffler is all the way in. It's very, very important. The muffler cannot, if the muffler, there you go, the muffler is even slightly out, yeah, that's going to cause problems. Do you see how it liquorides as well? The way we left the link pipes, the way we left them. Means that we just have that bit of adjustability, so we can just get the titanium Akrapovic pipe as good as we can get it. You're now going to take the bolt and the fixing, you're going to put it through the hole, and then you're going to take the combination of the copper washer. You're going to take the now you're going to take the two nuts. You're now going to hand tighten them onto the thread, like so. And we might have a problem already. Okay. Yeah. Notice how it's kind of like the rear is only hanging on by a couple of threads. Anyways, that is your muffler now inserted, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we've locked down the two rear bolts as much as possible, and also have a high temperature washer as well, just to add a bit of protection to the metal surface where right, so you're now going to work on the clamps that sit between the link pipes and the headers. And what you can do is just position the clamps in such a way that that they're both in line and they're also out of the way, so they're not an eyesore, which is always a good idea. And it's kind of scrupulous. The clamps are facing towards the tyres, which is good, so it's less visibility. It looks more factory-ish, so that's quite good. So make sure you're happy with the placement of the clamps. I don't think we're actually very happy with this one back here. On the back, you can actually see a gap between the where the clamp should be. Oh, it's never easy explaining this stuff, people. Okay, that's nice fit. You're going to need a T45, Porks 45. Okay. And what we're trying to accomplish here. So what you want to make sure is the clamp all the way around is as close to where there is a bevel here, because that is where the exhaust clamp attached, where you could actually see the cutouts in the metal. What the exhaust clamp is going to do is go over those cutouts and help make that permanent seal. So that's quite good. We're happy with the rear clamp. Now you're going to check on the next clamp. You're going to check on the second clamp. Make sure again it's all the way around the circle where the clamp meets the metal, like so. Make sure you're happy with roughly where you want the clamp bolts to sit. So just have a good look. I mean, are they going to be in line? Probably not. You just want it to be as close to a factory as you can, really. Okay, that's pretty it's pretty good now. And we're happy with the clamps are sitting. So you're going to take your ratchet now. You're going to put it into the tighten position. And now we're going to start clamping these puppies down. Same for the rear clamp as well. Long strokes. It's quite a powerful tool that can put quite a bit of weight on those exhaust clamps. Just get them as tight as you want them to be. That feels pretty good. Can't tighten them up any further. And check the rear one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so you're happy you've done that. Next place you're going to work on now is you're going to figure out where your little servo body's going to go. Probably what you want to try and do is, no, we want to place it in such a way that you wouldn't know it was there. So what we're going to do is take a massive cable tie, and this is where the charcoal canister is for the R NineT Racer superbike. And what we can actually do is take something like this cable tie, and what we can do is just position the servo body in such a way that it's just sitting there in line with the body of the charcoal canister. And it's just a matter of can we cable tie the servo body unit onto the oh god no, oh motherfucker, oh no, that's what we want, right, like that, where it's over the body, not crushing the wires down. I know, would have been nice to have used a smaller cable tie, but it is what it is. All you can do actually is then push the nibbly bit of the cable tie, the bit that sticks out, and then you can rotate it, make it disappear, make it go away. Make sure the unit isn't going anywhere, which it feels like it's not going to. And then what you could do is just rotate the cable tie like this, so. And then what you're going to do is you could take a pair of snips. You're going to get the snips as close to the end of the nib as possible. Like so. And what we could do is then take our pliers. Get the pliers, the cutting bit as close to the plastic nib of the cable tie, and then cut. Got frame in the way, can't get a cable tie around that. Can't get a cable tie around that. And it shouldn't slide out. What I've been able to do is, by using another cable tie, is we put a cable tie underneath this amazing BMW braided brake line. Not just rubber, it's actually got a braided sheath around it. That's quite expensive. That's quality, that is braided brake lines from a BMW classic superbike. And what this is going to do is, where we've mounted the servo body with the first cable tie, so now using a second cable tie, and what this is going to do is help just keep the BMW connector, servo connector, and just keep the whole servo body up in the air, help keep it in place, which is fantastic. But this bit is not easy, because now I've got to get the snips in there in a very confined space, with braided lines and everything you definitely don't want to be cutting into. Oh god, this is a total fucking nightmare. Oh, why is nothing ever easy? I need you. I need love. I need love. I need love. I need That is a nice job. And hey presto, we still have a problem with this fucking great big goddamn bastard goddamn bastard baffle. You probably does not want a baffle. This is a race bike. You're now going to take a Torx and a set of screwdrivers. That's a pretty good fit. Into the on position. You're going to need a Torx 40. And then what you're going to do is make sure you found the correct spanner for this particular nut, which is 13. So you need to find 2 spanners. Okay, 2 spanners. First of all, we're going to start talking down the bolt. If you want to, you can try and hold the nuts on the other side. And trick, so as well, take into account what we want to see is where you're tightening. So when you are happy that you're fitting the titanium system, what you want is the exhaust hanger piece that's welded out and is where the bolt is coming through. As you tighten, what we want is for that piece to be as dead flat against the BMW as much as possible. So you're putting even weight distribution, see, on the nut, but I know it's not easy to do that. At the same time as you have a nut that you also need to tighten up as well. Wow. Wanted to probably do a bit of this, to be honest. And what we're going to be doing is crushing that down. Oh, it isn't doing this right, is he? What you're going to do now as well is, if you're happy that you've tightened up your exhaust clamps. Bollocks! We missed one exhaust clamp. We did miss an exhaust clamp. We got to do that one. There's one more exhaust clamp, which is actually the exhaust clamp for where the Akrapovic system joins into the link pipe. Bloody hell, nearly missed that one. Make sure that's all tightened up. And then again, you can position it in such a way that what will happen is you won't see it. That's definitely what you do want to do. Beautiful. tightened up, tightened up. So what you're going to do now here at Lucroids, and this is critical at Lucroids, can't say this enough. So now the system is at a point where it is all tightened up, all torqued down, all the pieces are together, the headers all together, the O2 sensors are torqued down, the flange nuts are torqued down, the exhaust hanger is torqued down, the link pipes are torqued down, the exhaust clamps are torqued down, the slip-on, we figured out a system in order to lock it into place and keep that locked down. The exhaust clamp between the titanium slip-on to the link pipes all torqued down. Everything's now torqued down. With titanium, any titanium metal, and look right to understand, because you're raring to hear, even though they're still a goddamn baffle, that you want to hear at least how the engine is performing and what she sounds like with just titanium straight pipes, and all the hard work and the hours that you've put in and the time and the learning to get this far. You just want to hit the start button and see how the engine runs, see if we have an engine management light, anything like that. But you're working with titanium. Titanium, if you have any oils on the titanium, even something as simple as the oils on your skin, oils from your fingers, oils from working on the BMW Classic Superbike, Classic Race Bike, once that titanium gets hot and it heats up, it will burn any oil from your skin or anything that's on the surface of the titanium. It will burn a circle into the titanium, and once that happens, there's nothing you can do. Once you have a burn mark in titanium, there is no way you can clean it off and scrub it off. It is a part of the titanium from that point on. So don't ruin the job, don't ruin all your hard work fitting such an exotic, high-performance titanium system like this without cleaning it down. One of the materials you can use is WD-40. That's very good, that will do the job very nicely. And then take a very soft rag, cloth, and just take your time and start working on the titanium. Start from the very beginning.
Cool.
Just start rubbing that in. Rub in that WD-40, get right across the edges. Go along the pipe, go all around it, even on the hangers. And just spray that WD-40. Don't stop. Just get all over every angle you can possibly think of. Every angle your fingers, oils, anything could have been. You rub that. You rub that, baby. You rub it until you can't rub anymore.
I need
fit the system because we made a dedicated video on how to take the factory headers apart. So so you won't need to really know that much. Which is quite interesting. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh, thanks for watching everybody at Loop Prize. There was a lot to do. It's actually a very big job indeed. A lot to do. Mammoth job. Really big. But we got there. That's what matters. And yeah, full system. But the slip-on can is unfortunately Euro 5. So I always hate that term full system because it's misleading. Full system is when you have no baffle. But on this particular BMW R NineT, it seems that a full system means you still have the baffle in the slip-on can, which is like, well, telling us what we can't do. Thanks for watching today.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. As was it?
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
Signature coffee. Oh, that's pretty good.